Billions of dollars of wealth were created by companies such as Google, Facebook, and Netflix in under a decade by utilizing new technologies such as smartphones. This is happening today again using AI and ChatGPT.
Waymo's testing autonomous tractor trailers in Atlanta right now, and this Einride truck, you can see there isn't even space for a driver. When these finally make it onto the roads, they're going to make shipping a lot cheaper. At the same time, millions of people who drive trucks right now are going to be looking for a new job. It's not just truckers. This McKinsey report estimated that about half of the jobs people are doing right now could be automated with technology we already have. The same report says that between now and 2030, 400 million workers globally could lose their jobs to automation. So what's happening to trucking is the same thing that happened to Blockbuster, travel agents, grocery store cashiers, and dozens of other jobs. They're being replaced by a piece of software, which means the first model is expensive, but all the copies are basically free. In the business world, they call this zero marginal cost, which means you can add new users and revenue without spending more money. To see how that works, think about how we share photos. For most of the 20th century, Kodak was the biggest name in photography, but it couldn't survive the smartphone. Kodak filed for bankruptcy in 2011, just 4 years after the first iPhone launched. Now, instead of manufacturing millions of canisters of film, we just use an app. It's a good app, but it's not that complicated, and throwing more programmers at it won't really make it better. At its peak, Kodak employed 145,000 people. Instagram, it's just under 500. And Instagram's worth a lot more money. So what happened to all those jobs? The shift didn't come from some brilliant new film developing robot. We just stopped using film. It's not robots replacing workers, but zero marginal cost businesses replacing legacy industry. People argue a lot whether this is good for business or bad for workers. If you're a pessimist, it looks like the end of jobs as we know it. All the high employment companies like Kodak lose out to smaller, smarter tech replacements. Production gets more efficient, wealth gets more concentrated, and unemployment goes through the roof. But where pessimists see a future without jobs, optimists see a future without work. It used to take a lot of labor to call a cab or get something shipped to your house, but now it's easy. Businesses found a way to serve lots of people with a single upfront investment, and that efficiency makes it a lot cheaper for everyone. Some people look at that process and imagine a society where automation makes almost everything free.
Gary explains his experience building iLegacy book with us. So you've already worked with another company to try to build your app. Can you tell us a little bit about how working with Opzoom is different from working with other companies?
When we first started, we didn't know much about the hiring developers, and we just basically went off reviews. So the difference was it was less personal. It was more of a crapshoot in what we were looking for. You took the project and knew what we wanted and helped guide us. A lot of companies kind of sat back and let us try and navigate. Your company took the bull by the horns and you led us where we wanted to go. Your phone calls, your returning calls, your initiating calls showed me you cared, you were interested, you cared about what we were doing, and you helped us through parts that we didn't understand. And again, we could not be happier with the choice we made to go with Opzoom. You've been there every step of the way, very informative, giving some guidance and helping us find our way, navigate through some different obstacles outside the design has been very helpful. So not only are you a hired company, but you've also been more of a family member, a friend that's also given us personal advice that's helped us see things through a different way.
Tony works with many product companies and about half of the major movie studios using Twit Pro Grow.
Twitter is a very open platform. It's a platform you really can do grassroots outreach, finding people talking about something, activating them, aggregating them into followers, and then engaging with them, which really works with products and brands. We're targeting only the consumers most likely to convert and engage. It sends direct messages to users when they're converted into followers. The main metric that I follow is direct qualified conversions, not just the number of new followers, which is great, but new followers can come from anywhere. People can just discover it. I track the ones that can be directly attributed to our work.
How do you like using Opzoom to build your software for you?
I've had a pretty good experience working with Opzoom. They're very diligent and ethical, setting fair prices, very time oriented. I've gotten the results I've needed, really delivered what I've asked for. You guys understand, you guys are knowledgeable in the space and are able to fulfill the vision that I have.
Ben explains his view on how speed mattered building access for a social media platform. What is the trade-off between a cheap developer that moves slowly versus a developer whose focus is speed? What are your thoughts about that trade-off?
Speed is everything. If you can iterate quickly, you can handle pretty much any issue that you come up with. Being able to see what we're working on, being able to tweak as we go is invaluable. And it's not something I found with any of the other people that we spoke to anywhere near the same level. Joe and Opzoom do a fantastic job of keeping you absolutely in the loop and understanding exactly where you are in the process at all times. And the sooner you can see a product under development, the sooner you can see what your vision was made into reality, the easier it is to maintain the passion, to maintain the momentum, and really just keep excited. You'll have moments of self-doubt. You'll have moments when you're like, am I on the right track? Is this a good idea? If your developer comes to you with a new iteration, a new version that has crystallized another part of your vision into reality, that is an incredibly motivating experience. And the sooner you can see what you're working towards come to light, the easier it is to keep the momentum going.
Ariana explains how she differentiated her business and created high-value merger opportunities by offering bigger companies valuable process upgrades using custom software.
I started a company after many years in my industry. One of the things I really wanted to do was develop the software and the applications that I knew I needed in order to differentiate my product. I work in financial services and I work with a lot of clients. I knew exactly how I wanted to design my product, and I knew that I would need custom software to get there. There's a confidence now that I can get a customized software for what I need. So it's actually pushing me to think more about my product. What I really like is now when I go into client meetings, I'm just absorbing all this information and I'm just thinking ahead about how I'm going to push my product further. And it's knowing that I have a tech team that can meet the challenge. Sometimes when I work with folks that are software specialists within my field, I feel like they're data scraping off of me. They are trying to steal my client list, or they're trying to take my data. Knowing that there's a go-to company that's not doing that, that can be adaptable to my needs, it just means everything from a strategy standpoint. And I think also just having an existing relationship with a software provider is nice because I'm not starting at square one with somebody who doesn't understand it. If I have an idea, I can execute it quicker because you know me, you know my company, you know my widget, you know my product. I'm not starting from square one, and I can execute on my round 3 software application, and I could just get it out the door quicker, and it's just implemented that much faster.
So how can you contribute to our network? When people think of building custom software, they approach technology specialists such as web developers, digital marketing specialists, SEO specialists, IT people, and owners of digital products. Here is a BNI member and technology expert explaining why he refers Opzoom. Hey, Henry, how do you like working with Opzoom as a referral partner?
Working with Opzoom has been integral part of providing myself credibility within my business. I have somebody for everything, a web designer or an integration specialist or an SEO guy, or even like an advertising professional. But I think that one thing that anybody who's well-rounded in the digital sphere should have is somebody who's really good at web and mobile applications. And working with you, it's empowered me to be seen as more well-rounded to the customers and referrals that I come into contact with each day, just because of the nature of my business.
What do you think about the referral relationship you have with Opzoom?
You know, not only is it professional, but it's a timely one. It's a communicative relationship. It's just easy. It's very simple. An introduction happens. You follow up in a flash. When it comes to actually closing that business and getting to that point, the referral bonus is fantastic. You are on top of your game, man.
Here's another view on referring Opzoom. I want to know how it feels like to be a referral partner with Opzoom.
It feels good. There's something that I don't understand. I can get over to Joe, and he usually can take care of the problem in a jiffy.
Who would you reach out to if you wanted to build a custom app? You can make me very happy by introducing me to them in a 3-way message. If you want to improve your business or know someone who does using modern technology opportunities, contact me at joe@opzoom.com.